Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell y'all something about men that don't get talked about enough. Everybody always wants to know, what do men crave? What makes a man lean in? What makes him stay? What makes him go crazy about a woman? Well, I'll break it down for you. It's not just about looks, it's about energy. The right energy will pull a man closer than anything else. Men crave peace. You hear me? A man can fight the whole world out there. He can wrestle with pressure. He can deal with deadlines, bills, bosses, and people doubting him. But the one thing he cannot stand is coming home to chaos. A man's heart, his spirit, is searching for that energy that makes him breathe easy. It's that feeling where he can let his guard down, where he doesn't have to fight anymore, where he knows the energy is soft, calm, and safe. You give a man that kind of peace, he will give you everything he's got because that energy is rare. See, men are not complicated. Folks try to act like men are some big mystery, but I'll tell you straight up, men want peace more than anything. That's why you'll see a man leave a flashy lifestyle or a fancy setup just to sit in a small place where he can breathe. Because peace is better than gold to a man. You know why? Because the world is heavy. Every day he wakes up, he's got to figure out how to win, how to provide, how to protect, how to keep it together. That pressure is real. And when he comes home, he don't want to feel like he's still in a boxing ring. Now, let me say this. Peace does not mean silence. It don't mean never speaking your mind. What it means is the energy you bring when you speak. You can disagree and still bring peace. You can check a man and still bring peace. You can tell him the truth, even hard truth, and still do it in a way where he feels safe instead of attacked. That's what men crave, because when a man feels attacked in his own space, he don't feel like a man. He feels like he's under fire. And when that happens, he starts pulling away. But if you bring him peace, he leans in because that's the one place he can be vulnerable without shame. Men won't always say this out loud because pride is a big thing with us. But deep down, every man is searching for that soft landing spot. That's why when he finds a woman who brings peace, he looks at her different. He values her different. He'll protect her like nothing else because she represents the one thing he can't buy, can't hustle for, can't fake: peace. And let me tell you something, peace is not boring. Some people think if I'm peaceful, he'll get tired of me. No, no, no. Peace does not mean dull. Peace means you know how to create an atmosphere where love can grow. Peace means laughter without drama. Peace means comfort without tension. Peace means fun without constant arguments. Peace means fun without constant arguments. That's what men crave. A man will take a simple dinner at home with peace over a fancy dinner in chaos every single time. I've seen men give up everything for peace, walk away from situations, leave money behind, sacrifice opportunities just to feel that calm. Because once you've had real peace, you realize nothing is worth trading it for. And when a man finds peace in a woman, she becomes his safe haven. He doesn't just love her, he treasures her. That's why you'll hear men say, I can't lose her. It's not just about looks. It's not just about attraction. It's about the energy she brings. If she brings peace, he sees her as his anchor in the storm. So when you wonder what men crave, understand it's not all the loud things the world tells you. Cars, money, status, or even constant physical attraction. What men truly crave is that peaceful energy, the kind of energy that makes him feel like home is not a battlefield, but a sanctuary. The kind of energy that makes him want to keep coming back because it's the only place he feels truly free. Men want admiration. Now, let me explain what that really means, because a lot of people get it twisted. A man can survive without a whole lot of things, but the one thing he can't go without is knowing that the person he loves, the one standing beside him, actually believes in him. The world is tough. It will beat a man down. It will call him names. It will tell him he's not good enough, and it will put doubt in his head every single day. But when he comes home and the woman in his life says, I believe in you, it does something to him that nothing else in the world can do. That admiration is fuel, and men crave it more than they'll ever admit. A man can have people cheering for him in public, co-workers congratulating him, even friends patting him on the back. But none of it hits the same as when it comes from the woman he loves, because when she says it, it feels real. It feels like confirmation. It feels like somebody sees him not just for what he is now, but for what he could become. That kind of belief, it will make a man fight harder, climb higher, and reach farther than he ever thought possible. A woman's admiration is not just words, it's power. It's the power to breathe life into a man when the world has taken his air away. And here's the thing, men don't need you to admire perfection. They're not looking for you to worship them like they can do no wrong. What they crave is admiration for effort, for character, for trying, for fighting, even when he hasn't got it all together yet. A man might be broke, might be struggling, might be still figuring it out, but if his woman looks at him and says, I know you got what it takes, that man will go out and move mountains just to live up to her faith. That's how deep admiration runs for a man. Let me tell you something. When a man feels like his woman doesn't admire him, he shrinks. He starts questioning himself. He starts losing that spark. And you'll see him retreat, because to a man, the absence of admiration feels like the absence of respect. When his effort goes unnoticed, when his wins are never celebrated, when his grind is taken for granted, it chips away at his spirit. But when he feels admired, that man is unstoppable. He feels taller, stronger, more capable. He feels like a king in his own home. Now, don't confuse admiration with flattery. Flattery is shallow, is surface level, is empty. Men can spot fake words a mile away. What they want is genuine admiration. That means noticing the little things, like when he takes on responsibilities without being asked, when he pushes through challenges, when he stays consistent, even when he's tired. It's saying, I'm proud of you, not because he's perfect, but because he's persistent. That's what men crave. They want to know their effort matters. I'll tell you another thing. Admiration doesn't just build a man's confidence, it builds his loyalty. When he knows the woman in his life sees him as capable, as strong, as valuable, he wants to keep proving her right. He becomes devoted to protecting that bond, because it's rare to find someone who truly believes in you when the world is busy doubting you. That's why so many men will walk away from situations that look good on the outside but lack admiration on the inside. A man can have everything, but if he feels invisible in his own relationship, he will wither. But if he has admiration, even in the middle of struggle, he feels rich. Men are not chasing applause from the crowd. They're chasing that nod from the one person who matters most. They want to feel like my woman sees me, she believes in me, she's proud of me. That kind of admiration carries more weight than 100 promotions, 1,000 likes, or 1 million fans. Because when it comes from her, it hits the deepest part of his soul. And once he has it, he will do everything he can to keep it. Men need respect. That's not just some nice little phrase. That's the truth of how we're wired. You can give a man love, you can give him affection, you can even give him attention. But if he doesn't feel respected, it won't matter. Respect is like oxygen to a man. It's what keeps his pride alive. It's what keeps his spirit lifted. It's what makes him feel like he's standing tall instead of crawling. Men crave respect more than they crave almost anything else. And it's not because they're arrogant. It's because respect is tied directly to how a man sees himself in the world. A man can go out and get beat up by life every single day. He can deal with people not listening to him, bosses barking orders, folks doubting him, and life making him feel like he's coming up short. But when he comes home, he doesn't want to feel like he's got another boss. He doesn't want to feel like he's being corrected, criticized, or belittled at every turn. What he wants, what he needs is respect. And respect doesn't mean never disagreeing. It doesn't mean staying silent. It doesn't mean letting him run wild. It means how you handle him when you do disagree, how you carry yourself when you do correct, and how you approach him when you've got something to say. Here's the truth. Men shut down under constant correction. If every time he makes a move, it's the wrong one, if every effort he puts in is met with not good enough, if every attempt is criticized, that man stops trying. Not because he doesn't care, but because nobody wants to live in a place where they feel small. A man doesn't flourish in an environment where respect is missing. He'll retreat into himself, he'll spend less time at home, he'll get quieter, and you'll wonder why he's pulling away. 9 times out of 10, it's because he doesn't feel respected. But when you give a man respect, he grows. He stands taller, he works harder, he loves deeper. Respect is that energy that says, I see you, I hear you, and I value what you bring. When a man feels that, he'll break his back to give you the world. Respect turns a man into a protector, into a provider, into the kind of partner who will fight for his family. Because respect is the gasoline that fuels his engine. And listen, respect is not about big grand gestures. It's often in the small things. It's in the way you speak to him when you're frustrated. It's in the way you look at him when he's trying. It's in whether you acknowledge the effort, even if the result is imperfect. That's what makes a man feel respected. A man doesn't need you to clap for every little thing he does, but he does need to know that you notice, that you appreciate, that you don't see him as less, because once a man feels like he's been belittled, the relationship starts cracking from the inside. Now, let me make this clear. Respect doesn't mean a man is always right. Respect doesn't mean you can't call him out when he's wrong, but it does mean doing it in a way that builds, not destroys. You can correct a man and still respect him. You can tell him the truth and still uplift him. You can disagree without tearing him down. That's the energy men crave. Respect that lifts instead of crushing. Respect that says, I still believe in you even when I'm frustrated with you. Here's the bottom line. A man who feels respected will give you his heart, his time, and his loyalty. A man who don't feel respected will eventually pull away, no matter how much he loves you, because love without respect doesn't feel like love to a man. It feels like control. But when respect is present, love grows stronger. And once a man feels that respect deep down, he will do everything in his power to make sure he never loses the woman who gave it to him. Men crave playful energy. You might think men only care about respect, loyalty, or admiration. And don't get me wrong, those things are huge. But let me tell you, a man's heart lights up when he's around a woman who knows how to have fun. A woman who makes life feel less like a grind and more like an adventure. Men don't always talk about it, but they love laughter. They love joy. They love being around someone who can take the heaviness of life and make it feel light again. That playful energy, it's like oxygen for a man's soul. See, the world puts a lot of weight on a man's shoulders. Every day he's thinking about bills, responsibilities, deadlines, and how to provide. That pressure can wear him down, and he'll start moving through life like a machine. But then he meets a woman who makes him laugh, who teases him, who's playful, and suddenly he remembers what it feels like to be alive. That's what men crave. They crave that spirit that makes them forget about the stress for a moment and just enjoy being in the present. Playful energy doesn't mean being childish or not taking life seriously. It means knowing how to create moments that are fun, lighthearted, and memorable. It's that kind of energy where you can laugh at yourself, where you can make a joke in the middle of a tough day, where you can turn a simple errand into a good time. Men love that. You give a man that kind of playfulness, and you'll see him soften in ways you never thought possible. Think about it. Why do men act silly around women they like? Because deep down they crave that childlike joy. They want to feel like they can drop their guard and just be goofy without judgment. When a woman can laugh with a man, not at him, but with him, that's when he feels most connected. Because laughter creates a bond that words can't touch. You can argue and fight, but when you laugh together, the bond gets stronger again. That's why men are drawn to women with a light spirit, because it makes them feel safe enough to show that side of themselves. Now, here's the real secret. Playful energy is more attractive than beauty. Looks might catch a man's attention, but it's the energy that keeps him coming back. A woman who can smile, who can make a man laugh, who can turn ordinary moments into something fun, that's the woman a man will chase forever. Beauty fades, but joy never gets old. Men know that life is short, and they want someone who can make the journey enjoyable, not just tolerable. And let me be clear, playful energy isn't about being loud or doing the most. It's not about being the center of attention. It's about bringing warmth into a room. It's about creating a vibe where people feel good, where life doesn't feel so heavy. For a man, that energy is magnetic. When he's around it, he doesn't want to leave. That's why you'll see a man brag about how his woman makes him laugh. He's proud of it because laughter makes him feel young again. You know what else? Playful energy helps a man stay loyal. When a man feels like he can laugh, like he can play, like he can have joy with his woman, he doesn't need to look anywhere else because he knows he already has the best of both worlds. Respect and fun, love and laughter. Men crave that balance. They want to know their woman can hold them down in serious moments, but also lift them up in playful ones. At the end of the day, men may not always say it out loud, but they are looking for joy. They're looking for that light spirit that takes away the weight for a little while. That playful energy is what makes a man remember why life is worth living. And when he finds it, he'll hold on to it because it's rare. That's why a man will always crave a woman who brings not just love, but laughter. Not just loyalty, but playfulness, because that's what makes his soul feel alive. Men seek loyalty. You could talk about beauty. You could talk about charm. You could talk about how good someone looks walking into a room, But when it comes down to what really makes a man stay, what really makes him commit, is loyalty. A man wants to know that the woman beside him is not just there for the good times, but also for the storms. He wants to feel that energy that says, I've got your back no matter what. I'm not leaving when it gets tough. I'm not switching up when you fall short. I'm in this with you. That kind of loyalty is what makes a man give his whole heart. See, men live in a world where loyalty is hard to come by. People will smile at you today and turn on you tomorrow. Friends can disappear when money runs out. Co-workers will compete. Family can doubt. Strangers can criticize. So when a man finds loyalty in a woman, it hits different. It feels like home. It feels like the one safe place where he doesn't have to wonder if somebody's going to betray him. And that feeling is priceless to a man. Loyalty is not about being perfect. It's not about never getting upset or never disagreeing. Loyalty is about consistency. It's about showing up in both the sunshine and the rain. It's about saying, I may not like everything you do, but I'm still here. I may be mad at you right now, but I'm not leaving you. I may push you to do better, but I'm never pushing you out of my life. That's loyalty. And that's what men crave more than they'll ever admit out loud. You know why loyalty matters so much? Because loyalty is security. A man can grind all day, he can chase money, he can build a house, he can buy a car, but none of that gives him peace if he's not sure the woman he's with is truly with him. He can't relax, he can't trust, he can't build freely if he's always worried she's halfway out the door. But when a man knows deep down that his woman is loyal, he relaxes, he trusts, he opens up in ways he never has before. That kind of trust creates a bond that nobody can break. Let me tell you something. Men don't crave loyalty just when they're winning. Anybody can stick around when life is good, when the checks are rolling in, when he looks strong and confident. But the real test of loyalty is when he's down, when he's struggling, when the money's tight, when he's doubting himself. That's when loyalty means the most. If she's still there, still encouraging, still believing, still fighting alongside him, he'll never forget it. Because a man always remembers who stood by him when he had nothing. And here's the thing, loyalty goes both ways. A loyal woman inspires a man to be loyal back. It makes him protective. It makes him committed. It makes him say, I can't play games with her because she's been solid with me. A man will walk away from temptation, from distractions, from other opportunities when he knows he already has loyalty at home. Because why would he trade something rare for something temporary? Loyalty keeps his heart grounded. Loyalty isn't loud. It's not about big speeches or public declarations. It's in the quiet moments. The way she defends him when he's not around. The way she believes in him when he doubts himself. The way she doesn't embarrass him in front of others. The way she shows up every single time without having to be begged. That's loyalty. And when a man feels it, he values it above everything else. So understand this. Men seek loyalty not because they're weak, but because loyalty gives them strength. It gives them the confidence to take risks, to dream bigger, to fight harder, because they know they're not fighting alone. When a man feels loyalty from his woman, he feels unstoppable. And that's why at the end of the day, loyalty is the energy that makes a man say, this is the woman I'll never let go. Men crave feminine confidence. A lot of people think men are only chasing beauty, but the truth is, beauty alone won't hold a man's attention forever. What really pulls him in, what makes him stay, is confidence. That energy that says, I know who I am, I know what I bring, and I don't need to beg for love or attention. Men find that irresistible because when a woman is confident, she's not competing, she's not comparing, she's not clinging, she's secure. And that security is powerful. Confidence is not about being loud or trying to dominate. It's not about walking into a room and demanding everybody's eyes. Feminine confidence is softer than that, but stronger at the same time. It's in the way she carries herself, the way she speaks, the way she sets boundaries without being afraid she'll lose somebody. That kind of energy tells a man this woman values herself, and men respect that. In fact, men chase that because no man wants to feel like he's the only thing keeping a woman together. A man wants to feel like he's adding to a woman's life, not like he's the whole foundation. See, when a woman is needy or desperate, it drains a man. It makes him feel like he can't breathe. But when she's confident, when she's secure in herself, it frees him. It makes him want to give more, love more, commit more because he doesn't feel trapped. He feels chosen. A man craves the kind of woman who can stand on her own but chooses to stand with him. That's the difference confidence makes. And let me tell you, confidence is not just about looks. Looks fade. What keeps a man hooked is that energy of self-assurance. The woman who knows she's valuable even on her worst day. The woman who doesn't chase after him when he pulls away because she knows her worth doesn't depend on whether or not he sees it at that moment. That's the woman a man can't forget because she's not desperate for love. She embodies love for herself. When a man meets a confident woman, it challenges him to step up. It makes him want to be better because he sees she's not just going to settle for anything. And he respects her more because of it. Men admire beauty, but they commit to confidence. They play with insecure energy, but they build with secure energy. That's why a confident woman is unforgettable. She doesn't have to scream for attention. Her presence speaks for itself. At the end of the day, men crave that feminine confidence because it makes them feel safe too. It tells them if I fall short, she won't collapse. If I stumble, she won't lose herself. She's whole on her own. And that's the kind of energy that doesn't just attract a man, it keeps him.